So I just got done watching the Leprechaun reboot that Lionsgate and SyFy teamed up to make. I'm not really a huge fan of the original Leprechaun, but I thought it was pretty funny, and I saw that one of the directors of The Void was working on this, so I figured, why not? It turned out to be a pretty bad decision and a complete waste of my Sunday because this movie is terrible. It does the Halloween thing where it picks up 25 years after the original and ignores all the other sequels, and it stars Taylor Streitler as Lila, who's the daughter of Tori Redding, who of course is Jennifer Aniston's first on-screen role. I understand that they want to have the tie back to the original, but all they do is dump on Tori Redding for this entire movie. They make it look like after the original Leprechaun, she just sat in her house and went insane until she died of cancer, and she ruined her daughter's life as well by making her take care of her until she was dead. But the daughter seems to love her mom and constantly brings her up and is saying she misses her all the time, so it's mixed emotions that don't really make sense. And also, this movie is so much worse than the original that hearing about the first movie over and over again just makes me want to turn this off and watch the first movie. It's a bad move. Thankfully, they got the one thing they had to get right, which was making the kills almost entirely practical. Someone gets cut in half by a solar panel, another person trips and falls on a shovel and it goes through the back of her head, and it all looks pretty good. I mean, the Leprechaun is reborn through Ozzy's stomach and he claws his way out of there, and it's all practical and it looks great. I think that's a situation where hiring one of the directors of The Void really paid off, because that movie has some of the best practical effects of all time. But it's kind of very similar to this in the fact that there's no story in that movie either. The story is just awful in this movie. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The characters change their motivations on a whim, whether they're trying to kill the Leprechaun or give him his gold back so that he'll spare them. They never really commit to anything until the last 10 minutes, and it's over an hour and a half, but I guess like the real meat of the story would probably only take up about 60 minutes, and that's what this feels like, an extended TV episode. The main characters of this movie's intelligence is on a sliding scale based on what the scene requires them to do. They're college students who are taking this old decrepit house and making it self-sufficient, so they obviously have to be intelligent, but if they need to die, they can't be smart because then they'll just outsmart the Leprechaun. So then they just become dumb as bricks for one scene so they can be killed off. It's really frustrating to watch, and I hate to use this word, but the entire plot just feels amateur. It feels like the writer didn't even try, and that sucks. It's infuriating. Out of all the main characters, the only one who really seems to be able to act here is Pepe Sanuga, and I get why they want Lila to be the main character because she's Tori Redding's daughter and that's the main character of the original movie, but the actress just doesn't do a good enough job in the part, and I wish that they didn't even write her into the movie. In fact, this movie feels like it was written without that whole plot line in the first place, but once they realized this was going on SyFy and it was going to be released on VOD, they kind of threw it in the day before they started filming. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. I'm sure you could have guessed this easily, but Warwick Davis did not return to play the Leprechaun. This time around, he's played by Lyndon Porco, who does a great job. The costume also looks great, and so does the makeup, and I guess I would have noticed the difference a little bit more if the rest of the movie was a lot better, but complaining that Warwick Davis isn't in it kind of feels like overkill at this point. But just like every other character in this movie, the Leprechaun suffers from the terrible script. His jokes are just bad, straight up. They're either terrible sex jokes or lowest common denominator rhymes that don't make any sense and just kind of maybe get a chuckle out of some people. I really can say that the only time I laughed throughout this entire movie was when Pepe Sanuga trips and falls on her boyfriend who was cut in half and she's just flailing around in the blood. I don't even know if that was supposed to be funny, but I laughed at it. Leprechaun Returns comes out in VOD this week, but I really can't recommend spending money on it, especially considering that in March it'll air for free on SyFy. And the movie was made with TV in mind, so I don't think SyFy will actually cut anything. So if you can wait 3 months and deal with some commercial breaks, I think that's the way to go, whether you're a huge fan of the franchise or not. It just doesn't feel like a movie that's worth renting. Unfortunately, that's what I thought of Leprechaun Returns. If you see the movie by some chance, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. And also, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe. My name is Jimmy Champagne, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.